Have you ever stood by the ocean, feeling like a tiny, insignificant speck? Waves crashing endlessly, the horizon stretching beyond what your eyes can fathom. And you, just one small person, a single heartbeat in the vastness of existence. But what if I told you that you're not just a drop in that endless sea? You are the entire ocean in a single drop? These aren't just poetic words. They're an invitation, a revelation, a revolution. And they come from none other than the 13th century mystic and poet, Jalal al-Din Rumi, a man whose words still ripple through the world centuries later. If you're new here, welcome to the unfolding journey. This is a space where ancient wisdom meets modern yearning, where we dig deep beneath the surface of poetic verses, spiritual traditions, and timeless philosophies to find meaning for our lives today. Because we believe life isn't just about moving forward, it's about unfolding inward. Let's journey together. Jalal al-Din Rumi was born in 1207 in what is now Afghanistan and spent much of his life in Konya, Turkey. Though rooted in Islam, his message transcended religious boundaries. His poems speak not just to Muslims, but to Christians, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, agnostics, and seekers of all kinds. His words aren't just beautiful, they're alive. They stir something primal. They reach deep into the bones of the human condition. One of Rumi's most quoted and misquoted sayings is, "You're not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop." At first glance, it's poetic and profound. But what does it actually mean? Modern life constantly reminds us of how small we are. Social media shows us how much more successful, beautiful, or wealthy others are. News headlines portray an overwhelming world of chaos. Even in education and science, we are taught to view ourselves as minute specks in a cold, expanding universe. It's no surprise that many of us carry a quiet belief that we're insignificant. Rumi shatters this illusion. He challenges the idea that our smallness is real. He flips the paradigm. What if the essence of everything, the stars, the cosmos, the divine, is not out there, but within you? This is what he means by the entire ocean in a drop. You're not just part of something big. Something big, unimaginably vast, lives within you. Rumi was deeply influenced by Sufi philosophy, a mystical tradition within Islam. Sufism teaches that the divine is not distant, but closer than your jugular vein. Sufis believe in the concept of tawhid, the unity of all being. In this worldview, all existence is a reflection of one single divine source. And each soul is not separate from this source, but a reflection of it. You, as a drop, don't just contain the ocean. You are the ocean experienced in a unique way. You are the divine experiencing itself through your eyes, your fears, your hopes, your joys. That's not just empowering. That's revolutionary. We often define ourselves by our roles. I'm a student. I'm a parent. I'm unemployed. I'm a failure. I'm anxious. But Rumi urges us to ask deeper questions. Don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure. You're not your wounds. You're not your roles. You're not your temporary circumstances. You are a divine ocean cloaked in temporary human form. The revival of human dignity, according to Rumi, begins with this inner recognition. In today's world, human dignity is constantly under threat. Exploitation, racism, poverty, war, isolation in a hyper-connected world. We are often treated as numbers, consumers, profiles, not as sacred beings. But Rumi reminds us, you were born with wings. Why prefer to crawl through life? The revival of human dignity begins not with political change or social reform, though those are important, but with an inner awakening. When you recognize your worth, you start treating others with more reverence. You speak differently. You act with compassion. You see yourself and others as living, breathing manifestations of the infinite. Rumi's quote is not just a statement. It's a call to return home. You're not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. It calls us to stop chasing approval from a world that doesn't know your soul. Stop diminishing your light to fit into the molds of others. Stop identifying with what you have what you lack, or what others label you as. Instead, turn inward. Discover that within you is the same energy that powers galaxies. Within you is a capacity for love that can dissolve hatred. Within you is dignity, not earned but inherent. So, how do we begin to live from this oceanic awareness? Here are a few ways. 1. Silence and stillness. Spend time in quiet contemplation. Even 5 minutes of stillness a day reconnects you to your deeper self. 2. Sacred reading. Don't just scroll. Read intentionally. Read the mystics. Read poetry. Let their words soften your heart. 3. Service. When you recognize the divine in yourself, you begin to recognize in others. Serve not out of pity, but out of shared dignity. 4. Drop comparison. Stop measuring your worth based on others. Your journey is your own, and it is sacred. 5. Affirm your inherent worth. Try saying, I'm not a drop in the ocean. I am the ocean in a drop. I carry divine light. You'd be amazed at how differently the world responds when you walk in this truth. Rumi's message is simple but world-shaking. You matter. You are needed, not just as a body or a brain or a cog in the machine. You are needed as a soul, as a bearer of light, of presence, of depth. When you remember that you are the ocean in a drop, you no longer walk through life begging for permission to exist. You embody existence. You bring presence to the room. You bring meaning to conversations. You bring soul to the everyday. And maybe, just maybe, you give someone else the courage to remember that they are the ocean too. Let's close with one more whisper from Rumi's ocean of words. Stop acting so small. You are the universe in ecstatic motion. That is your truth, not a motivational slogan, not a temporary high, but a truth as real as gravity, as deep as love. The revival of human dignity begins when even one person wakes up to this truth. Let that person be you. If this message spoke to you, even just one line, I invite you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, what would life look like if I truly believed I was the entire ocean in a drop? Because that's not just a poetic idea. That's a call to wake up, to live deeper, to love wider, to unfold further. And that's what we're doing here. This is the unfolding journey, a space for seekers, poets, mystics, and anyone longing to live with more soul. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Your presence here means the world, and the journey is just beginning. Drop a comment below. What part of Rumi's message resonates most with you? Hit the bell to get notified when new reflections are released. Thank you for sharing this space with me. Until next time, keep unfolding.